worst hidden on Earth. What if some of the strangest worlds ever discovered or never hidden among distant stars, but right here on our own planet? When we imagine other worlds, our mind usually drift far beyond Earth. We think of the great deserts of Mars, the frozen surface of Europa, the toxic atmosphere of Venus, or mysterious exoplanets orbiting stars hundreds of light years away. We must place us by extreme temperature, violent geology, and environments so hostile that survival seems impossible. Words that feel distant, unreachable, almost beyond imagination. But what if landscape just as strange already exists much closer than we think, not millions of kilometers away? Not beyond the reach of telescopes, but here, hidden across deserts, islands, mountains, and frozen wilderness. Sequesters across our planet are placed so rigid, so beautiful, and so unexpected that they seem almost disconnected from reality. They're a place where boiling pools glow in shades of green, yellow, and orange as toxic gas rise from the ground like something from another dimension. There's an isolated island where strange invasive trees dominate the horizon, creating a landscape that feels more like science fiction than nature. There's a vast wide expanse that transforms into the largest natural mirror in the world, blurring in boundary between sky and land. There's deserts so dry and lightless that scientists use it to prepare for missions to Mars. And there are frozen Arctic wilderness where endless ice, darkness, and towering glaciers create century resembling a distant icy moon. These plays do not look familiar. Some seem too strange to be real. Others appear as if they belong inside a digital artwork or a science fiction film. Yes, every one of them is real, and every one of them exists on the same planet we call home. That's maybe Earth's most surprising part of all. We often think of Earth as familiar, a world we understand, a place already mapped, explored, and explained. But the truth is far more fascinating. Earth is anything but ordinary. It's a world shaped by unimaginable force. Volcanoes tearing through the crust, glaciers carving continents, isolation reshaping life over millions of years, climate pushing survival to its limits. These forces have created environments so extreme that they challenge everything we think our planet should look like, and they do more than inspire water. Many of these locations have become natural laboratories for science. Researchers studied them to understand how planet evolved, how life survives in extreme environments, and what future explorers may encounter on worlds beyond our own. Because before humanity reached this distant planet, we first studied the extraordinary worlds hidden within our own. This journey is not just about strange place. It's about perspective. Because the deeper we explore our planet, the more one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The universe may be filled with incredible worlds, but one of the strangest worlds we know has been beneath our feet all along. Part 2. The closest place to hell. Imagine standing in the place where the ground bubbles beneath your feet, where poisonous gas rise from deep underground, where pools of glowing green, yellow, and orange liquid simmer under brutal heat. The air feels heavy, the earth hisses, steam escapes through cracks in the surface. Every direction looks hostile, unnatural, almost impossible. This does not feel like a place meant for life. It feels like a world still being built or destroyed. Welcome to the Danakil Depression, located in northeastern Ethiopia. Danakil is not one of the harshest environments anywhere on the planet. These are lands set by fire, heat, and relentless geological violence. Temperature here regularly exceeds 45 degrees Celsius, and during the hottest periods, they can climb even higher. Rain is scarce, safety almost non-existent. Survival here demands extreme endurance. Yes, what makes Danakil truly unforgettable is not just the heat, it's the landscape itself. The ground is clothed with color, bright sulfur yellows, burning orange, acidic green, blushing white, again dark volcanic rock. The color feels almost unreal. The entire region looks like an abstract painting created by chemistry and fire. Many people seeing photos for the first time assume the image have been edited, but the colors are real. Every shade is natural, and every surface is consistently transient. The force behind these trees environments lie deep underground. That kill sits within the Afar Triangle, one of the most geologically active regions on the planet. This where three tectonic plates meet: the African plate, the Arabian plate, and the Somali plate. These massive sections of Earth's crust are slowly pulling apart. The movement happens at only a few centimeters each year, but over time, the impact is enormous. As the crust stretches and fractures, magma rises closer to the face. His escape upward. Volcanic activity intensifies. The lake itself is slowly being torn apart. Scientists believe this process may eventually create a new ocean basin millions of years into the future. In other words, Danakil offers something incredibly rare: a glimpse into the birth of a future ocean. Few places allow us to witness continental separation so clearly, but Danakil's alien appearance comes from more than tectonic movement. Beneath the face, mineral-rich water interacts with volcanic gas and intense heat. The result is chemical spectacle unlike almost everywhere else. Sulfur disposes cold ground, a simple bubble with toxic liquid. Steam vents release dangerous gas into the air. The routine feels alive. Nothing is still. Nothing feels stable. The ground moves. The air burns. The earth breathes, adding to the initial other gas themselves. Sulfur compounds and volcanic emissions constantly escape from underground vents in high concentration. These gases can be deeply researchers and visitors move carefully through the area, constantly aware of shifting conditions. This is not a place where nature feels calm. This nature is at its most raw and violent. And yes, despite of all of this, light is here. For centuries, the Afar people have lived and worked in this extreme environment. They know the deserts better than anyone. For generations, they have crossed this brutal routine to harvest one of Danakil's most valuable resources, salt. Using traditional methods, workers cut enormous blocks directly from the ground, and they transport them across the deserts under punishing heat. The work is exhausting, the conditions are unforgiving, but their presence tells an extraordinary story. Humans can adapt to far more than we often imagine. Not far from this hostile routine stands one of Danakil's most famous landmarks, after all, one of the most active volcanoes in the world. Its inside is cut as rather like once of Earth's rare permanent lava collection. Mountain rocks trans continuously beneath the surface. Bright orange lava glows through the darkness. The sight is mesmerizing and terrifying. Many explorers describe it as staring directly into the heart of the planet, a reminder that beneath the ground with rock or light an imaginable power, but perhaps Danakil's most important discovery is not geological, it's biological. For years, scientists believed the environment was simply too extreme for life, too hot, too acidic, too chemical hostile. Then researchers found something astonishing: microscopic life. Tiny organisms known as ephemeral were surviving in glaciers once thought impossible. These microorganisms thrive in instant heat. Some tolerate extreme acidity, others survive in highly toxic environments. Because if life can survive here, could life survive elsewhere? That question is one reason that fascinates science around the world. Many researchers consider it one of the closest natural analogs to ancient Mars. Its rare conditions, volcanic activities, mineral-rich deposits, extreme chemistry, undesirable environments that may once have existed on the red planets billions of years ago. By studying Danakil, scientists gain valuable clues about planetary evolution. They learn how extreme environments form, how chemistry saves landscape, and perhaps most importantly, how life survives against overwhelming odds. Danakil is more than one of the strangest places on Earth. It's a window into the distant past, a glimpse of worlds beyond our own, and a powerful reminder that life is far more resilient than we once believed. As toxic streams rise from the colorful ground and tectonic fault continue reshaping the land beneath our feet, our question becomes impossible to ignore. If life can survive in a place like this, where else in the universe might exist? Part 3. Socotra, the island from another world. If Danakil feels like a world shaped by fire and destruction, our next destination feels like something entirely different. A place shaped not by cause, but by time, by isolation, by evolution. Imagine arriving on an island where trees look like giant umbrellas frozen in time, where swollen trunks rise from the rocky ground like strange sculpture, where entire village seems to belong in a science fiction film rather than on our planet. Nothing looks familiar. The vegetation feels strange. The sound feels unnatural. Every direction reveals something expected. It feels less like visiting an island, and more like stepping into another world. Welcome to Socotra, located in the Iberian Sea several 100 kilometers south of the Iberian Peninsula. Socotra is often described as the most alien-looking island on the planet, and it's easy to understand why. Towering cliffs overlook dry valleys. Rocky plateaus stretch towards the horizon. Strange trees dominate the landscape. Unlike tropical islands known for their strong and wide beaches, Socotra feels raw, tropical, and completely unique. The island seems detached from the rest of the world, almost as if it evolved separately from everything else, and in many ways did. The secret behind Socotra's extraordinary appearance is isolation. Millions of years ago, geological shifts separated the island from surrounding landmasses. As continents moved and seas expanded, Socotra became increasingly isolated. That separation changed everything. Cut off from outside its ecosystem for millions of years. Life here followed its own path, learning adapted in strong ways. Animals evolve under unusual conditions. Generation after generations, more trees accumulated over immense stretch of time. Entirely new forms of life emerged. The result is one of nature's most extraordinary evolutionary experiences, and nowhere is that more visible than is Scotia's most famous symbol, the dragon blast tree. These trees are instantly recognizable. They can rise upward before spreading into bursts. Umbrella-shaped canopies. Seen from a distance, entire groves look almost unreal, like giant mushrooms growing from stone. The strange. This crimson sap has been valued for centuries. It has been used in medicines, dyes, incense, and traditional remedies. But the tree's unusable design serves a far more important purpose: survival. It's why canopy has captured moisture from the air while also creating shade below. In an environment where water is scarce, this design gives the tree major advantage. It's a perfect example of evolution solving environmental challenges in extraordinary ways. But the dragon blast tree is only beginning. Another iconic species found on the island is water tree. Unlike ordinary trees, water trees possess thick, swollen trunks that resemble giant water containers. Tree trunks act as reservoirs as they store water during wet periods, allowing the plants to survive long droughts. When blooming with bright pink flower, they create scenes that feel almost impossible. The contrast is striking: harsh rocky terrace, trees, swollen trunks, delicate bursts of color. You feel like natural experimenting with impossible design, and throughout Socotra, unusual plant life appear everywhere. When succulents cling to rocky slopes, tunic shrubs grow in isolated valleys. Ocean species thrive in harsh conditions. Every part of the island feels biologically distinct for scientists. However, the true wonder of Scotia is not just how strange it looks, it's how unique its life forms truly are. Nearly one-third of Scotia's plant species exist nowhere else in the world. The level of endurance is extraordinary. It means countless species found here evolved in isolation over millions of years, developing characteristics unseen anywhere else. Sculpture is often called a living laboratory of evolution. It offers a rare opportunity to observe that happening when life develops with minimal outside influence over immense periods of time. Small adaptation begin to accumulate. Species gradually diverge. New survival strategies emerge. Eventually, entirely new forms of life appear. Sculpture saw this process with incredible clarity. Perhaps that is why so many people struggle to describe the island. Some compare it to an island planet. Others say it feels like a fantastic world. Photographs of so culture often expressed online with uncommon question. Are these images real? The answer is simple: yes. Every dragon blast tree, every boulder tree, every tree landscape, nature creates all of it. And perhaps that is what makes sculpture so extraordinary. Its beauty was not designed, it evolved, but this isolated was not untouched by danger. Like many fragile ecosystems, sculpture faced growing threats, climate change is altering weather patterns across the region. Shift in temperature and rainfall place increasing pressure on species adapted to very specific conditions. Human activity also creates new challenges: overgrazing, infrastructure expansion, habitat disruption. Even small environmental changes can have a major consequence here, because when species exist here else, loss become permanent. That is why conservation matters so deeply on Socotra. Protecting the island means protecting millions of years of evolutionary history. This means preserving one of the most biologically unique places on the planet. As sunlight fades across forests of dragon glass tree and long shadows stretch over the rocky terrain, Scotia lives with a powerful realization. Nature does not always follow familiar paths. Give evolution enough time, enough isolation, enough opportunity, and fight can create goals beyond imagination. Wars is so strange, they feel almost impossible. Yet somehow they are real. Part 4. Salar de Uyuni, where Earth becomes sky. If Scotia feels like a world shaped by evolution, our next destination feels as if reality is begins to bend. A place where the horizon disappears, where distance becomes impossible to judge, where the line between sky and ground simply vanishes. Imagine standing in a place so vast and so fixedly flat that your sense of direction starts to break down. No fortress, no city, almost no landmark, just endless wide stretching in every direction. And during certain times of year, this entire landscape transforms into something even more extraordinary. A mirror, not a small reflection, not a lake, but one of the largest natural mirrors of Earth. Welcome to Salar de Uyuni, located high in the Andes of southwestern Bolivia. Salar de Uyuni is the largest horse fly in the world. It stretches across more than 10,000 square kilometers. The scale is difficult to comprehend. Standing here feels almost surreal. The horizon seems endless. Objects appear closer than they really are. Distance becomes deceptive. Everything feels strangely empty and strangely infinite. The landscape is not overwhelmed through complexity. It's overwhelmed through simplicity. Soft sky, space, that's all. Yes, together they create one of the most breathtaking environments on the planet, but the extraordinary place began this quarter. Thousands of years ago, this region was covered by enormous prehistoric lakes. During wetter climatic periods, the vast body of water filled much of this high altitude plateau. Then the climate change, the lake slowly began to sweep. Water evaporated, but mineral remained. Over century, layer after layer of salt accumulates across the basins. Eventually, the lakes disappeared entirely. What remained was something astonishing. A giant glass expanded unlike almost everything else on Earth. During the dry season, Salar de Uyuni resemble a frozen ocean made entirely of salt. Across its surface, geometric patterns stretch endlessly towards the horizon. These exact shapes form naturally through evaporation and crystallization. These patterns fit together like pieces of a giant puzzle. The sphere feels strangely artificial, almost perfect, to precise, as if designed by something beyond nature. But the true transformation happens during the rainy season. A thin layer of water spreads across the salt flat. Because the surface is so incredibly flat, the water forms an almost colorless, festive space, and that's a well cellar of you become legendary. The entire world transforms. Clouds appear beneath your feet. Mountains reflect with near perfect clarity. The sky stretches both above and below. Suddenly, the horizon disappears. There's no clear boundary between land and atmosphere, no clear sense of up or down. For visitors, the experience feels almost impossible to grasp. It feels like walking through the sky. The illusion is so powerful that photographs taken here often look fake. People appear through floats, vehicles seem suspended in clouds, so blur into reflections. Everything feels dream-like, yet nothing is artificial. Nature alone creates this illusion. That's what makes Salar de Uyuni so extraordinary. It turns simplicity into something magical. There are no dramatic cliffs, no dense forests, no volcanic eruption. Just perfect combination of space, water, and light, and somehow that's enough to grace one of the most surreal landscapes on Earth. But Salar de Uyuni is often more than visibility. Its unusual fate has made it very valuable for science as well, because it is so vast and exception class. Scientists use it to calibrate satellite orbiting out planets. Satellite systems require precise reference point for accurate measurements. Field place provide conditions as ideal as solar. In a fascinating way, this strange why research helps scientists better observe Earth's arm from space. Hidden beneath the source creates like another resource with enormous global significance. Lithium. Large quantities of it. Lithium power much of modern technology, smartphone, laptops, electric vehicles, renewable energy systems. As demand for clean energy continues to grow, Salar de Uyuni has become increasingly important to the future of global technology. This despite its scientific and economic value, most people remember something from Svalbard. The feeling of standing in a place where reality no longer feels stable, where the usual of perspectives disappear, where sky and land become one. For a brief moment, everything feels suspended. You stand between two worlds. Above you is the sky, below you is perfect reflection, and between there, only silence. Perhaps that's why Salar de Uyuni leaves such a powerful impression. It reminds us that nature does not own where nature calls to empire on. Sometimes all it takes is stillness, space, and light, and sunset approaches. The mirror begins to change. Gold fades into orange, orange into pink, pink melts into the shades of purple and blue. The color above and below blended into a single endless panorama. In those final moments, reality feels almost impossible to separate from illusion for a brief time. Earth and sky become one. Part 5. Atacama deserts Earth's version of Mars, but if solid real felt like a dream, our next destination felt brutally real, trying silence, unforgiving, this place where rain almost never falls. Will I survive against impossible odds? Where those landscape feels so barren and so hostile that scientists use it to prepare for mission to other planets. Imagine standing in a desert so empty that the silence feels overwhelming. No rivers, almost no vegetation, no visible sign of life, just endless rocky plains stretching towards its river canals. Short carved valleys cut across the torrents. Unseen mountains rise under a brilliant sky. The land feels frozen in time, hushed, still, almost like that. For many visitors, the feeling is immediate. This does not feel like Earth. It feels like Mars. Welcome to Atacama Desert, stretching across northern Chile along South America's Pacific coast. The Atacama is widely recognized as the deserts, non-polar deserts on the planet. Some areas receive almost no measurable rainfall for years. In certain regions, the case can pass without significant rains. That level of dryness seems almost impossible, especially considering one surprising fact: the Atacama lies beside the Pacific Ocean. So how can the desert located next to the ocean become one of the deserts places in the world? The answer lies in geography and climate. To the east stands the Andes Mountain, one of the longest mountain range on the earth. Most air-moving glaciers form the Amazon basin rise as it meets the mountain. As the air rises, it cools and gradually smooths its moisture before reaching the bases. It's known as the rain shadow effect. By the time air reaches the Atacama, little moisture remains. But that's only part of the story. Another powerful force shapes these diseases from the west. The Humboldt currents, we call one ocean current, flows northwest from Antarctica along the Pacific coast. Cold water reduces evaporation. Less evaporation means fewer clouds. Fewer clouds mean less rainfall. Together, the Andes Mountain and the Humboldt current create one of the driest environments of Earth. The result is extraordinary. As the desert shapes by streams across the Atacama, vast plains of rock and salt stretch towards the horizon. Wind and time have accompanied the terrain into strange formation. Each lower fields remain exposed. Erosion have slowly, some areas have changed every little for thousands of years. The landscape feel ancient, almost untouched layer places suspended outside normal time. One of the most famous regions here is the Valley of Moon. Its rock glaciers stars formation, and the hills grace scenery that look almost identical to images sent back from planetary emissions. The resemblance become especially striking as sunset. As the light shines, the terrain shifts in color. Red becomes gold to the orange depend into red. For a moment, the deserts go with the same color as associated with Mars, and thus similarity is more than visible. The Atacama has become one of the most important locations in the world for planetary science. For its years, many characteristics with Mars space agency frequently uses deserts as testing ground. NASA and other research teams evaluate exploration technology here before sending it into place. Robotics, instrument, scientific sensor, autonomous vehicles, equipment designed for future missions often face its first real challenge in the Atacama. In many ways, humanity's journey to Mars began here, but perhaps the most important discoveries in the Atacama are not technological, they are biological. For years, scientists believed that part of these deserts was simply to rise to support life, to hard tide, to barriers, to extreme. Then researchers began studying the environment more closely. What they found changed everything. Microbial life, hidden beneath rocks and buried within the soil, microscopic organisms were surviving in conditions once thought nearly impossible for life. These microbes endured intense solar radiation, extreme dryness, severe nutrient limitation, conditions that pushed survival through its limits, and yet life persists. These discoveries has profound implications. Because its life can survive here, could life survive on Mars? The question lies at the heart of astrobiology biology that the research fly beyond our planet. Atacama teach scientists something important that can be far more resilient than we once believed. Even in places that appear completely lifeless, biology may still exist hidden, waiting, adapting. And despite its reputation as one of the driest place on Earth. The Atacama occasionally very completely experienced sign. A sign most impossible to miss. During rare years when unusual rainfall reach the regions, something extraordinary happens. The desert blooms. Seeds that have remained remains beneath the soil for years suddenly articulate. Within days, spring and begin to transform. Pink flowers spread across the world. Purple blooms emerge. Yellow white flowers appear where only dust and drought existed before. The transformation is dramatic. One of the happiest environments on Earth suddenly bursts with color and life. It felt almost miraculous, a reminder that even in the most unforgiving environments life can endure. Patience, silence, waiting for opportunity. Perhaps that is the largest legend of the Atacama. This more than a glacier. It's a natural laboratory. Public scale geology, climate, and biology collide in extraordinary ways. A landscape that has preparedness for future exploration. And one of the clearest windows we have into another world. As darkness settles across the silent plains and distant volcanoes fades into shadow, one thought becomes impossible to ignore. The road to another planet may begin in one of Earth's driest deserts. At 6, Slav's final destination felt like something even more distant. A frozen moon drifting through the outer solar system, a place saved by ice, darkness, and silence. Imagine standing in a wilderness where glaciers are stretched for miles, while frozen mountains rise from icy seas, where the wind cuts through the air with relentless force. Everything feels cold, still silent, and as there are no fortress, no crowded city, very little sign of human presence. Only ice, no rock, and the overwhelming feeling of isolation. This does not feel like the world most of us know. It feels like the edge of another world. Welcome to Svalbard, located in a Arctic Ocean, roughly halfway between mainland Norway and the North Pole. Svalbard is one of the northernmost inhabited regions on Earth. It is defined by extreme towering glaciers dominates the landscape. Frozen fissures cave through glaciers retain. Arctic ice scrapes across vast expanse of tundra. For part of the year, the environment feels almost untouched by civilization, raw, ancient, unforgiving. The century here is so unusual that many scientists compare parts of Svalbard to icy worlds far beyond our planet. Standing here can feel like standing on another planet, or perhaps another moon. But one of Svalbard's most extraordinary features is not just the ice, its light, or more specifically, the absence of it. During winters, Svalbard enters a period known as a polar night. For months, the sun never rises above the horizon. Darkness dominates the landscape. Mountains become safe houses against winds activities till light slowly flicks that once little light remains, start through the sky for weeks. The familiar rhythm of a day and night disappear. Time itself begins to feel strange. Then during summer, everything reverse. The midnight sunrise for months, the sun never fully sets. Even at night, golden light continues to wash across glaciers and mountain peaks. Darkness never truly comes. They continue without end. Few places on Earth experience such dramatic extremes. These conditions create enormous challenge for survival. Temperature remain brutally low. Storm can arrive without warning. Food resources are limited and yet lies far here. Among Svalbard's most iconic inhabitants is the polar bear, the largest land predator in the Arctic, powerful, intelligent, perfectly adapted for surviving in extreme cold. Its thick fur and isolating first allow it to endure temperature that leads to most animals. But for polar bears, survival depends on one critical resource: sea ice. Ice is not a simple part of their environment. It's essential for hunting and survival. Another remarkable resilience is the Arctic forests, small but highly resilient. These predators fight through adaptability. Each fur changes the season, while during winter, darker during summer, having it blend into the safety environment. Then there is the Svalbard reindeer. Softer and stockier than the mother reindeer found elsewhere. This animal has evolved specifically to conserve is one of the harshest climate on Earth. Its species here tell the same story, like death, even under extraordinary pressure, but perhaps the greatest force shaping Svalbard's is wildlife. Its eye itself. Glaciers cover much of the Arctic's level and have shaped its landscape for thousands of years. Although glaciers appear motionless, they are constantly moving slowly, relentlessly, to carefully chase rocks, reshape mountain, grace fissures. The dramatic sensory visible tree is the result of immense glacial power acting our vast stretches of time. In many ways, these glaciers are living cause of Earth's climate history, but surpassed in importance for more than its natural beauty. Hidden deep inside mountainside, like one humanity's most ambitious preservation projects. The global sea forest, often called the Doomsday Force. This security facility stores backup sea samples from around the world, millions of seeds. Thousands of crop varieties are preserved within frozen chambers. Its purpose is simple: to protect architectural biodiversity in the event of global disaster or natural catastrophe, climate collapse, disasters. In one of the harshest environments on the planet, humanity has built a safeguard for the future of life itself. But even this frozen world is changing and changing fast. Climate change is transforming the Arctic at an alarming rate. Temperatures in polar regions are rising significantly faster than global average. Glaciers are retreating, sea ice is spiking, permafrost is thawing. Scientists study Svalbard have observed dramatic trends over recent decades. The trends much far beyond the Arctic. Because what happens here does not stay here. It affects sea level, weather system, ecosystem across the globe. Svalbard is not only a window into Earth's heart, it may also be a warning about Earth's future. And that's one of the reasons scientists are so fascinated by this frozen wildness. Svalbard offers valuable insights into icy environments beyond our planet. Many researchers compare it to Europa, while Jupiter's most intriguing moons. Europa, for example, scientists believe a vast ocean may exist, an ocean that could potentially support life. Although the environment and facilitate different study, glaciers and frozen ecosystem here help scientists better understand how ice behave under extreme conditions. In this way, the rapid become more than an Arctic wilderness, it's become a bridge between our world and the wider universe. As freezing winds sweep across an ice field and pale light reflects off towering glacier, one final realization emerged. The forest was more than a reminder of how extreme our planet can be. It's also a reminder of how quickly worse can change, and perhaps more than any place we have resisted. We feel something deeply apparent. Understanding distant words may begin with understanding our own passive Earth, the ultimate island planet. 5. Evolution, reflection, survival eyes. Our journey has taken us across some of the strangest places on our planet. We have stood in the boiling heat of the Danakil Depression, where toxic gas, volcanic activity, and mineral-rich pools create a world that feels almost hostile to life itself. We have explored culture where billions of years of isolation allowed evolution to create life forms unlike anything found us out here. We have crossed solar the weather boundary between sky and land disappears, transforming reality into illusion. We have ventured through the Atacama deserts, where extreme dryness offers one of our closest glimpses into Mars-like conditions. And we have traveled into the frozen whiteness of Svalbard, where glaciers and endless ice resemble resistant icy moon. At first, the place may seem completely unrelated. One of the set by fire, another by eye, and appear nearly lifeless. Others are filled with strange and extraordinary life. So despite their difference, all of these groups share something important. It's reveal a different side of our planet, and together, they forced us to confront a remarkable truth, as if far transient that we often imagine. We tend to think of our words as familiar, math, explored, understood, but that belief is often an illusion. Because hidden across this planet are environments so strange, so beautiful, and so unexpected. That's the challenge everything we assume Earth should look like. And these places offer more than words. They offer knowledge. Scientists refer to many of these environments as planetary analogs, natural locations that help us study other worlds. Danakil helps us understand ancient Mars. The Atacama provide clues about survival in ancient dryness. Svalbard helps researchers study frozen environments similar to icy moons like Europe. In many ways, our own planet has become the training ground for exploring worlds beyond it. Before humanity reached its place, we study the extreme worlds already here, and we have the most important lesson these places teach us is not geological, it's biological. Life is far more resilient than once believed. For decades, scientists may lack relative stable conditions, moderate temperature, reliable water, comfortable environments. Then we discover extreme modified microorganisms surviving in following heat in extreme acidity in frozen environment in place one part thought impossible for life. The discovery changes everything. It creates transform one of science's biggest question. Where can life survive? It was something far more profound. Where can life not survive? That question lies at the heart of one of humanity's greatest scientific pursuits. The search for life on Earth. Today, astronomers have discovered thousands of planets orbiting distant stars. Some may be rocky worlds like ours, others may be covered in ice. Some may possess oceans atmosphere, have even conditions suitable for life. The question is no longer whether other worlds exist. We know they do. The real question is whether life exists something among them, and strangely enough, this search for that answers often begin here, in deserts, in glaciers, in volcanoes, grasslands, in isolated ecosystems. Assuming our great laboratory, our dream environmentists are something about planets, about survival, about evolution, and about ourselves. But that's the great relation of this journey. We spend so much time looking towards the stars, searching for wonder, searching for mystery, searching for worlds beyond our own. some of the most extraordinary words we will ever encounter are already here, hidden in plain sight, raised beneath our sleep by find, carved by time, waiting to be explored. Because the search for other words does not begin in this space. It begins here, with understanding our own planet, and perhaps that is the most extraordinary translation of all. The greatest alien words we may ever discover was home all along.